This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the morning of Friday, August 11th, 2023. I'm Kate Sharon. After nearly 3 years since the original announcement and over 2 years of construction, Marian University officially has an engineering school on its Indianapolis campus. Governor Eric Holcomb and other state officials joined representatives of Marian University on Thursday to cut the ribbon on the more than $45 million E.S. Whitaker School of Engineering. University President Dan Elsener says the opening of the school comes amid enrollment that has exceeded expectations.
When we look at a building and the people that will occupy it, we are reminded on occasions like this of our promise to our students and to the professions and larger community that we'll prepare good leaders. This building represents a physical manifestation of that commitment.
Instruction at the school began in the last academic year as construction on the building continued. The school received approval from the Higher Learning Commission in June 2022. The school offers engineering degrees in biomedical, civil, chemical, computer, and mechanical engineering, along with engineering physics. Elsener said the university has a graduate program in development as well, which could begin in 2024. One Southern Indiana, or 1SI, is forming a search committee after its president and CEO announced her resignation last month. The organization's board recently approved a transition plan that includes hiring a search firm and transitioning CEO Wendy Dant Chesser's duties to other staff by her last day, October 26th. Chesser announced in July that she would resign her role with the Regional Economic Development Organization to take a position with the River Ridge Development Authority in Jeffersonville. Chesser was 1SI's third president and first woman to lead the organization. The committee has put out a request for proposals to find a search firm to assist in interviewing CEO candidates. An interim CEO will be named if a candidate is not selected before October 26th. Heidelberg Materials has struck a deal with the Levy Group of companies to receive a consistent supply of slag granules to produce high-quality slag cement at Heidelberg's Speed, Indiana facility. Shipments will begin in the first quarter of 2024, with a projected total of 400,000 tons. A slew of construction projects springing up since the 2021 Infrastructure Act has led to a nationwide shortage of cement. Heidelberg opened a new cement plant in Mitchell earlier this year, which will produce 2.4 million tons of product and address the shortage. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
For 25 years, we've had the honor of telling the story of Indiana business. More than 1,300 shows, 8,000 interviews. We've traveled from Valparaiso to Versailles, Fort Wayne to Fort Branch, and everywhere in between. And we are just getting started. Our team is passionate about Indiana business because your story is worth telling. Join us every week as we travel the state to bring you Indiana's story. Inside Indiana Business, 25 years and counting.
Boone County has caught the eye of developers and big business, but its water supply looks to be a hurdle. IIB's Alex Brown has more.
Boone County's close proximity to a major interstate, Purdue University, and the city of Indianapolis made it the ideal choice for a 10,000-acre high-tech manufacturing district despite not having the water supply to support large chip factories and other advanced manufacturing projects, according to a state official. Kurt Fulbeck, Vice President of Development Strategies for the Indiana Economic Development Corporation, said the region has, quote, continuously risen as a favored site from both companies and site selectors that have come to look at various areas of the state. The LEAP district under development in Boone County represents a shift in the way the state is working to attract companies and create jobs. The change is meant to help Indiana compete for the nation's biggest high-tech economic development opportunities. Thursday's Indiana Water Summit drew heavy interest in large part due to the IEDC's plans to tap into a Wabash River aquifer and pipe up to 100 million gallons of water per day to Boone County, a 35-mile journey. The water would then be treated and piped into a tributary of the White River or the Eagle Creek Reservoir. Some hydrologists, water conservation experts, and public officials in Tippecanoe County have raised concerns about the potential long-term effects on the Wabash River and the residents who rely on its water supply. Alex Brown, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Homes in the central Indiana housing market are remaining for sale for longer and continue to have competitive price tags compared to last year. Houses are staying on the market 31 days longer than they did in July 2022, while the average sale price at $314,000 has decreased 5.4% over the same period. Year-to-date home prices increased by 5.2%, with notable gains in Brown and Hamilton counties. The available housing inventory continues to follow this year's trend and is down 11.4% this year. Counties saw 478 fewer houses up for sale than last year. Indiana Landmarks is recognizing 2 organizations in rural Indiana communities for their work in historic preservation. The not-for-profit is awarding its 2023 Sandy Servas Memorial Awards to the Flora County Club in Carroll County and the Montpelier History Club in Blackford County. The annual award is named for a former Indiana Landmarks employee and preservation advocate who died in 1975. It recognizes 2 winners, one in an organizational category and another for service to youth. Radio icon Paul Smolian is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Kate Sharon for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.